From the National Newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White. MPs will soon meet in the House of Commons to debate the U.S.-Israeli war in Iran. The Prime Minister won't be there, but Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre says the war should not be used as an excuse for higher food and gas prices in Canada. Meanwhile, the NDP is calling on the government to clearly state that Canadian troops and resources will not be used in the Iran war. Oil prices continue soaring as the Iran war intensifies, threatening both crude production and shipping. It's pummeling financial markets, but Canadian Press reporter Lauren Krugel explains who could benefit from the spike.
The money that comes into the Alberta government's treasury is from oil and gas revenues. So the figure that the government puts out is that for every $1 a barrel change in the price of West Texas Intermediate oil, it's just what we talk about when we talk about oil prices generally, it has a $680 million impact on the budget.
Global crude prices surged above $100 U.S. per barrel earlier in the day, before falling back to around $96 a barrel in midday trading. The Prime Minister will head to Norway later this week for his first official trip to the Nordic country as NATO allies gather in the Arctic for joint military exercises.
Prime Minister Mark Carney will be in Norway March 13th to 15th as he observes the Norwegian-led NATO Cold Response training exercises. Cold Response is run by NATO every 2 years and involves about 25,000 troops from 14 nations training together to perform land, air, and sea operations in Arctic conditions. Carney will also meet with the Norwegian Prime Minister in Oslo, where the two are expected to discuss trade, clean energy, critical minerals, and the aerospace sector. Prime Minister Carney is also scheduled to make a stop in London before returning to Canada, where he'll meet with Prime Minister Keir Starmer to discuss defense and the war in the Middle East. David Baxter, The Canadian Press, Ottawa.
Ottawa is earmarking nearly $1 billion for defense research. The National Research Council funding will include support for drone and aerospace technology. It also includes buying a Bombardier jet for industry and academics to use for research. The Liberal government's nominated a senior official from the National Financial Intelligence Agency as Ottawa's next fiscal watchdog. Annette Ryan has been tapped to take on the currently vacant position of Parliamentary Budget Officer for a 7-year term. An all-star celebration in Toronto this spring will honor Elton John. The Glenn Gould Foundation announced last year the singer would be the 15th Glenn Gould laureate. The biennial prize goes to an artist whose work demonstrates excellence and who's been influential in their discipline or to the broader culture. An all-Canadian lineup will perform at the gala, scheduled for May 9th. This is the Canadian Press. In sports, the Ottawa Senators will continue their playoff push tonight in Vancouver. Sens have won 7 of their last 10 games, moving 5 points out of a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Also tonight, the Calgary Flames visit Washington. South Korea has a berth in the quarterfinals of the World Baseball Classic after a 7-2 win over Australia. Canada returns to action tomorrow against Puerto Rico. The Toronto Blue Jays also have an off day in their preseason schedule. Canada's medal count is up to 7 at the Milan Cortina Paralympics. Kala Eriksson and guide Sierra Smith took bronze today in the men's visually impaired Super G para-alpine skiing race. Canada has 1 gold, 3 silver, and 3 bronze medals so far. And Iraq men's coach Graham Arnold is urging soccer's governing body to postpone his team's World Cup qualifier later this month because of the war in the Middle East. He says many players and staff can't leave the country because of closed airspace. From the Canadian Press, I'm Jason White.